and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Turtonator in the Retro Cup. This is something that people asked me to do. I did a poll on YouTube, and this was, at least while I'm recording and while I did the battles, the one that was leading by far. So today we're gonna take a look at the Turtonator. This Pokemon got released around I think 1.5 weeks ago. I was away, so I couldn't really showcase this Pokemon, sadly, but today we're going to be able to take a look at this one in the Retro Cup. And honestly, while this gameplay going to be basically the best battles I did in 4 sets, it still was actually a little bit better than I expected, because it actually has a more bulk than I expected it would have. So yeah, this Pokemon sadly doesn't have the greatest move pool. It is Overheat, which is fairly okayish, but of course you're gonna have to debuff yourself. You have Incinerate, which is in itself, based on the stats, a fairly decent move, but 5-turn charge moves, or fast moves, I mean, are usually at least not really ideal. And then we're going to have the Dragon Pulse, which is a really weak Dragon type move, to be fair, compared to other Dragon type moves. So it is not really ideal, but still we don't really have any bait move or anything like this. But this Pokemon might be good somewhere down the line, because this Pokemon has access to Incinerate already, which is the best fast move for Fire type Pokemon, but also would have a signature move, which would be interesting to see in Pokemon Go as well, with Shell Trap, I think it's called. And here we're going to as well do a ton of damage against the opponent's Dunsparce, which is going to be really nice for us. They're going to now be in range where I can farm them down with a Dragonair, and this was actually a regional winner as well, as you can see in the shirt there from the player. So we will be able to win this first game. Let's take a look at the next one. We see another Litleo. I already showcased Litleo 2 days ago on my channel. If you haven't seen the video, definitely check that one out. Also, if you enjoyed this video with the Turtonator, please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's take a look here at the Litleo. We're going to be able to go for, of course, a crunch, and they get the debuff immediately. When I tried it, I basically only got it when it literally didn't matter. But now we're gonna get out the opponent's Oranguru, and we will be able to now go into our Auroras again and try to get as much energy as possible. I'm going to invest my shield here, because it could be a future side which would do a ton of damage, but no, they are not running that. They are just gonna go for the bait here, which I definitely shouldn't have shielded, because it would have done basically no damage. But what does a lot of damage is going to be Meteor Beam, and this is going to be the bread and butter of Auroras now. Honestly, since Meteor Beam got introduced, this Pokemon is so strong, and I really like it, because it's actually a cool Pokemon in my opinion. It's just typing that's insanely weak defensively, but very strong offensively. So very cool to see this here, and we're gonna now see the prime conditions for a Turtonator. We will be able to just go ahead and go for the Dragon Pulse against them here right now, and this is going to be a clear knockout against the opponent's Litleo, and even the Kaiwei does not really stand a chance here anymore. They can still knock out my Turtonator here while I'm looking back, but I will be able to now farm them down with our Auroras, and we will be able to go ahead and go into the next game. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to have the Como here, which will be a fairly decent lead for us. They're going to go into their Lantern, and I can go ahead and go into my Dragonair. This is an ideal matchup for me, because of course you're going to be able to now counter the opponent's Lantern here, which is something that I really want to do. This is our best matchup for the Lantern, as I will be able to go ahead and go for a Body Slam, and I can still go for another Body Slam here to CMP tie against the opponent, allowing me to do some nice damage against them. And they're gonna go ahead and go until their last Pokemon, most likely. I don't think oh no, they're actually gonna go back into the Como, allowing me to get some more farm, and now I can go into my Auroras as they swap into their Medicham. This was the worst possible Pokemon to encounter in general for this team. Medicham is a lot of brings a lot of issues here. To be fair, I didn't really see too many before when I played my other sets, but here I actually encountered, I think, 4 something in 4 sets. Quite a few more than I usually see, at least in this cup. But we still maybe have a chance here of winning this game. We have to see. I'm going to be able to now go ahead and shield this move up as well. It's going to be Ice Punch. I have to go for my Dragon Pulse here immediately, and I don't do this for whatever reason. I didn't do this. I have no idea. But this is going to be now a tricky one, as I have to go for the Dragon Pulse, but they can catch it on the Como. But the opponent had actually a lot of energy here, so they're going to let this move go through as well, which I found a little bit interesting there. But sadly, we needed one more energy, it feels like, to get to another Water Ball here. But sadly, this is not going to happen here, and the opponent going to win this with a few HP left on the Medicham, but this is going to be a good game here. Could have most likely played a little bit better as well from my side, so that's, I guess, fine that we're going to lose this one. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to see a Laurentis against us here. That's going to be an interesting matchup. We're going to swap out here, because they could have, of course, they're going to have the move Superpower, which just one-shots me, which I don't really want to go up against. As I'm going to shield up the move, they're going to go into their Frosses here right now. And like this, we are 1 shield down. We're going to get the shield back though right now, which is going to be fairly decent for us. And I'm going to now try to go ahead and showcase the Turtonator a little bit. Turtonator will be able to just farm them all the way down here with Incinerate. And actually, like, it's kind of wild. Like, we have the similar bulk to, for example, a Tapu Fini with a Turtonator, which is really cool to see as well. So we are fairly bulky actually with it. And we have a great typing as well. Like, the typing of Turtonator is insanely strong, and Turtonator itself can be insanely strong. As you're going to see here right now, Dragon Pulse gonna come through and gonna do a ton of damage against the opponent, and another one going to approach them right now. Not enough to two-shot them, but gonna put them fairly low, as they're gonna go ahead and go for another charge move. Here it's going to be the Surf, and I can swap out here into my Auroras, as they're gonna go for a charge move against the Lurantis. But we are going to be in a very tough spot here right now, because they should be able to outspeed me for their superpower, and they do exactly that here. Going straight forward, going to knock me out, double super effective, and now it's the Turtonator's choice here. And sadly, they will be able to get to another superpower here, or they do not. Leaf Blade double resisted, and of course, you're gonna go for the BM with the Turtonator. Triple kill for Turtonator here, going for the overheat and knocking out that Lantern. Let's take a look at the next opponent. Again, pretty horrific lead against us here. The Tentacruel is really difficult to deal with for this team, but this is actually the first Tentacruel I have seen the entire time in the cup. I have never seen anybody else using this Tentacruel, but maybe it has some play, I don't know. It doesn't really seem to have too much play in total though. Like against Frosters, you kinda are weak because you're a poison type that does resisted damage there. So I'm not sure really. But here we're going to be able to farm on the King Run. Luckily we didn't get the debuff, which was really lucky for us, because I really wanted to get off this charge move here right now, and I didn't want to swap out yet. And I'm gonna get off this charge move and gonna do some nice damage, and I was able to catch a move here onto my Turtonator. It's going to be a neutral move here at least, and they're gonna go ahead and go into the Oranguru here. And this will allow me to go for the overheat, and let's take a look if they're going to shield this move up here. They do not, and boom, they're going to do a ton of damage, and they're forced to throw. Oh no, they are not forced to throw. I'm forced to farm them down though. And honestly, this shield didn't make sense at all, because they were only at a foul play, and now the Tentacruel could get to a skull in time. Can we outspeed them? Can we win CMP actually here? This is going to be a nice question. And we will be able to win CMP with our Auroras. And this is going to be a good game here as well, as the Tentacruel is going to go down here, and we can move on into the next game. Let's take a look here. We're going to have the Auroras against the Toxapex. Again, just like the yeah, what's called Tentacruel, they are not really the best matchup, as we're gonna get hard countered here with the Bomber Snow in the back. Going to be an Ice Type, of course, going to be an Ice Type that can outspeed me as well, so I'm going to be forced to letting this move go through. But now Turtonator can come in clutch here, because we will be able to just farm them all the way down without having to shield anything. And again, we are fairly bulky, so we can take a Weather Ball with ease here as well, as it's not even gonna put us into the yellow health yet. And we will see what's coming in now. The Toxapex, allowing me to get to another charge move here, and putting them with this Dragon Pulse here now into range for one Meteor Beam. And they're going to have a Frosters in the back, which will allow me to just go ahead and go straight for the Meteor Beam here as well. If they want to shield, it's fine. But yeah, we're going to not hit this move, but we're going to get the attack buff already. And I'm going to call the bait here, because they have to bait. And they do bait, which is going to be so nice for us, as this next Meteor Beam going to knock them out. And we can go ahead and use a shield here against the opponent's Shadow Ball. We are double buffed right now. The opponent's Toxapex has basically no extra energy as well. So they decide to farm, so they decide to quit out of here, and we will be able to win this game here. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have a Dunsparce against us. This will be, again, not a great matchup. We, in general, lose nearly all the leads here right now, but at least you can go ahead and go for a charge move against the opponent's Frosters. They're going to let this move go through, allowing me to realign, and this is something that I like to do, but of course, against something like the, yeah, normal type Dunsparce, it's going to be a little bit tricky, because it has coverage for both of my Pokemon in the back. And here I make a mistake, I go for the Body Slam. The difference are quite a few HP, like, it's not crazy to be fair. Awkward Tail is slightly better there, but honestly at this point of time it's going to be a tough match to win still, because the Turtonator will not have the greatest time here, and I doubt that they're going to be able to survive a move, but we can still get to the overheat at least. Do they let this move go through? They do not. And like this, we're going to be in an even tougher spot, as they can now knock me out. They are at 100 energy before that. Now they're going to still have like 55 energy or something. So they're going to be able to spam those moves fairly easily. And honestly, there's not a lot that I can do here right now. I can try to go ahead and go for some Meteor Beams as well. But yeah, the likelihood of the opponent going to shield here is fairly high, so I'm just gonna hope and pray that it's going to go through, and it actually does, but still they're going to have a Jellicent in the back. And of course, as you're going to see here right now, I might be able to get a shield from the opponent if they don't count correctly, and they do not count correctly, but my Dragonair will not have a great time here. My Dragonair has 1 HP left, so I don't even throw a charge move there because it didn't really matter anyway, so this is going to be a good game there. A little bit tricky to deal with a Jellicent with this team for sure. But still, we're going to take a look at the next opponent here. LilyNiRiain against us. We can go ahead and go straight for the Media Beam. This might be able to get a shield from the opponent. Of course, the opponent has also Power Whip themselves, but they're going to swap out into the Cresselia, allowing me to go for another Media Beam, which is going to do around like 60% of the opponent's health here, and allowing me to also go into my Turtonator, which might be able to catch a move here, but they're going to go ahead and go for the Grass Knot. Double resisted Grass Knot coming in here. That's a very nice for us. But honestly, the typing itself, of course, it's the same as Reshiram's in the Master League, but the typing itself is so nice for the Great and Ultra League. If it just gets better moves, I think this Pokemon might be even better. But fire types in general need a buff, like fire types are fairly bad right now. But as you can see here right now, we get at least able to hit 1 Dragon Pulse here, but they're going to be able to knock me out here in time, and we're going to see the Deoxys coming in. Dragonair usually is a fairly decent matchup for us here, because as you see already, the Dragon Breath is going to do a ton of damage, as it's a 1-turn fast move, and 1-turn fast moves are always doing more damage against Deoxys defense. So here we will be able to even outspeed the opponent to our next move. I will be able to go for the body slam. This is enough to knock them out. It is. And we will see that we can now go ahead up against the LilyNiRiain. And I just have to go for 1 Weather Ball at this point of time to knock them out. And so I'm going to let this move go through, and I'm going to go for the BM, of course. The opponent tries their best to still get to a Power Whip here right now, which they don't even get to. I don't know why they threw this here, but this incoming Media Beam, of course, going to have a great time here, knocking out the LilyNiRiain as soon as the game goes on. Actually, I didn't have lag today though. Like, it was like a buggy game in general, but I didn't have any lag, to be fair. Like, I didn't know stutter or whatever, what I always complained in the last few days. At least I didn't have that today so far, which is kind of nice, kind of refreshing. I actually had a pretty smooth gameplay, other than, of course, we battling with a Pokemon that's not really ideal. I don't even know which rank it is, like somewhere like 300, 600 or something, I don't know. Somewhere really, really low. But here we're going to now encounter the Cresselia against us in the lead, which is not ideal because we cannot really swap out here, but still the Auroras actually pressures the opponent fairly decently. Yes, you're going to see that the opponent is going to swap out into an Oranguru, which we will be able to now take on as well with our good friend Turtonator, and we can outspeed the opponent here to a charge move, and the Dragon Pulse is coming through. This is enough to knock out the opponent. Let's see. It is not, because the opponent is going to shield this move up, but I can still survive a foul play here for sure. But yeah, they're going to not even go for the future side. I can just go for a Dragon Pulse now, and I can realign as well, which is going to be super important for me. This is going to now allow me to get the, the Dragonair against the opponent's Regirock, which is really important. And I can now have also the Aurora still against the Cresselia in the back. I know that the Cresselia has a lot of energy, but I don't think it's enough for Moonblast, and it wasn't. They need 1 more fast move, and this was enough for us to catch the move here, which is so good for us. We're now going to be able to farm them all the way down. And 2 Awkward Tails is going to be all we need to knock out the opponent's Regirock here right now. Dragonair, honestly, really strong Pokemon in the Open Great League, in the smaller metas as well. This Pokemon is just insane right now. So if you have a Shadow Dratini or something that you can build for this one, definitely go for it. Very strong Pokemon. Final game for the day, amazing need actually here, which is going to be the Altaria. The opponent going to wait for a little bit there as well. And we're going to get out the Jellicent. It's going to be a little bit of a trickier one here to win. But let's take a look at this one. Media Beam, gonna get shielded immediately, which is something that you rarely see with Jellicent, because they can easily survive the first one. But now, of course, we're gonna be buffed, which is going to be a really decent for us, I guess, because as you're going to see right now, this one going to get also shielded. They just want to use their shields today, I guess. Can they outspeed me with this Surf? I'm not sure about this one. But let's find out. Can we get to the Media Beam? Oh, they actually outspeed me by quite a bit there. But it doesn't knock me out, luckily, and they can go for a Media Beam, but they're going to catch this move onto the Deoxys defense here. This is not ideal for me at all, but I will be able to go into my Turtonator and hopefully just farm them all the way down. Hopefully they're running Thunderbolt, which is definitely a decent move in the current meta because of Medicham, but they do not. And I have to go into my Dragonair right now, while still at least having a move start on my Turtonator. Let's see what the opponent going to have in the back. Of course, the Altaria is coming in right now, and we have to try to go ahead and go for the Body Slam. But honestly, if we didn't farm down here. Like, if we were farming down, we would have been fine, but like this, we're sadly going to lose this game here, and this is going to be it for today's video as well. Turtonator needs a move update, but honestly, the stats, the fast move, the overheat, the typing is really going in its favor. It's a cool Pokemon to use, it was a fun one to use, better than expected, to be fair. I was expecting way worse results, but yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.